This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Abbot.
I'd like to punch him in the face.
Is he crazy, or is that just the way he acts?
Britain is going to be hit by a 70-mile-an-hour wind. Not just one, but many, 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 over and over and over again. 75-mile-an-hour winds coming in as Storm Hannah batters parts of the UK. And I sincerely hope that your part remains unbattered. Ireland will bear the main brunt of the storm, but southwest England and South Wales are also expected to be hit by gale-force winds and heavy rain. Glasgow will have its own weather. I'll check while you wait. That's very loud background noise. It's like I'm on board ship. It's supposed to be a silent studio. Never mind, I'm not complaining.
Stop whining.
All right, Glasgow. Raining tonight and raining tomorrow, and not raining on Sunday or Monday, but raining on Tuesday, and cloudy on Wednesday, and cloudy on Thursday and Friday and Saturday, and raining on Sunday, and cloudy on Monday and Tuesday, and raining on Wednesday. You won't be seeing the sun anytime soon, but then you don't like that, do you?
No.
The Met Office has issued a yellow weather warning.
Warning, warning.
There's going to be a lot of yellow about. And this is a warning for Devon and Cornwall and Dorset and Somerset and South Wales and parts of Hampshire and Sussex, wherever that is. And that warning is in place from right now. And it lasts until 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Officials have warned that there could be travel disruption and power cuts and flying debris around coastal areas. Surfers have been urged not to attempt to ride the 26-foot-high wave, known as the Cornish Cribber, which is due to reappear this weekend as it could prove fatal in such stormy conditions. And surfer dudes heard the words 26-foot wave and then missed the part about the death because they were so massively stoked.
Groovy.
That wave is totally tubular.
Yowza.
There's so many dudes going to try and surf that wave. There's Kaz and Corky and Laird and Geordie and Sonny and Ryder, but not Charlie. Charlie, don't surf. On the subject of conditions expected offshore, a Royal National Lifeboat Institution spokesperson said, swimming is not recommended and experienced surfers should avoid exposed beaches and only consider surfing at sheltered spots on the south coast with appropriate supervision.
Boring.
This is the first time the Met Office or its Irish partner Met Irian has had to name an April or May storm since the naming of storms began in 2015. Have they only been naming storms since 2015? Well, what did they call them before that? Hello? I just love the panicked expression on the person through the glass there. My glamorous assistant momentarily thought that I was demanding an answer. No. They only been naming them since 2015. I'm stunned. So before that, presumably there was just, is that one? The one that occurred on the following date? I've got no idea. It's educational, this programme, isn't it?
No.
Only storms with significant expected impacts are named, and this one's called Hannah. Met Office forecaster Simon said, Storm Hannah is more like a storm seen in midwinter, not the second half of spring. And you know what? It's all thanks to global warming.
Thank you.
It was 25 degrees centigrade last weekend. 25 centigrade. I've got no idea what that is. Is it warm? Double it and add 32 to get proper temperature, and double the 25 is 60, and 60 and 32 is like, it's like 100? 100 degrees! Can you believe that?
No.
The Cornish Cribber, that wave thing, arrives once every 18 months. It reaches a peak when the Atlantic Ocean surges coincide with the high spring tides to strike the North Cornwall beaches. Dom Moore, who runs the Surf Sanctuary Surf School in Headland Hotel in Newquay, said, The Cribber is the reef that runs under the water from Towan Headland. It's shallower than the surrounding sea, and when the right swell comes in, it breaks over the reef. Because you've got a relatively shallow reef surrounded by sand, there is a gradient underwater, and it's not uniform like the beach, so the waves peel off it rather than closing out. So that makes it clear, doesn't it?
Negative.
What the hell's he talking about? All right. I was going to say probably stoned, but I restrained myself from saying it.
Want to score some pot?
Now then. Last week, actor Emma you remember Emma Thompson?
No!
Yes, that's right. She came over here to share with us her opinion on climate change. And the Brexiteer types went absolutely puce with fury that a mere actress was sticking her nose in and telling them what she thought. How dare an actor tell us to take care of the planet? It's none of her business. And besides, what does she know? She just pretends for a living. She should go back to her little actor bubble and keep her stupid thespian opinions to herself. And anyway, she's not even that good at acting, what we're only winning an Academy Award for acting and another Academy Award for writing a screenplay and getting a Golden Globe for Best Actress and a Golden Globe for Best Screenplay and a BAFTA for acting and plenty of others besides. Anyone could win those. Just goes to show how rubbish she is. Fast forward a week, and another actor offered his opinion on something in the news, and the Brexiteer battalion couldn't have been more welcoming. Finally, someone with the public weight and gravitas of an actor is speaking his mind. Why did we have to wait so long for someone as respected as an actor to offer his opinion on Brexit? And an actor as well known as that bloke who played the garden gnome thing in Star Wars or Game of Thrones or Batman or something. And he's been garlanded with a full 2 awards. Won a Screen Actors Guild and another a Critics Award for a film that got so many awards showered down on it that the T-Boy probably got one. And while 2 awards might not be more than Emma Thompson has amassed, that's just a statistic, so we can safely ignore that because maths isn't a science. Blessed is the pursuit of acting. Actors should rule the world. Hollywood actor John Rhys-Davies went on that Fiona Bruce show and accused MPs of betraying democracy by failing to deliver Brexit. And Brexiteer ultras had a patriot-gasm. The Mail puts it like this. In an extraordinary moment on the BBC's Question Time last night, Indiana Jones and Lord of the Rings actor, 74, Jonathan Rhys-Davies, was given an ovation by the audience. An ovation! No, he wasn't. Not really. Unless a polite smattering of applause counts as an ovation these days. I looked it up, just in case I was getting it wrong. Definition of ovation: a sustained and enthusiastic show of appreciation from an audience, especially by means of applause. Well, some of them applauded for about 5 seconds, 6 at the outside. That's not an ovation. But top marks for the way in which he delivered those lines. They were so pretentious and full of drama, I thought he was going to bury his axe in some dragon's bonce at the end of it. Mr. Rhys-Davies said, "You will damage democracy if you don't deliver Brexit." I had no idea I was going to do that. Wow, where did that come from? He said that in his life he'd never seen such a level of anger about MPs failing to deliver the result of the 2016 referendum. He said, "The mood of the people I've been talking to, and I don't mean hotheads or loose talk in the pub, I'm talking about considered grown-ups who work for a living." I can't keep that up. How does he manage it? The skill. He's a professional. He said, I'm not talking about just any old numpty. These are people who work for a living, he said, who think for a living and have to make economic decisions for themselves. Well, who doesn't? Who doesn't make economic decisions for themselves? You do that every time you go into the shop. Can I afford orange juice this week?
No.
No, you think. So I'm going to buy it anyway. It's my right. I can do what I want. He says, I've never seen such a level of anger. And that's odd, because last week, an actor's killed me. What was that? What is that? It's like somebody's trying to, maybe, wow, somebody's digging up from downstairs through the floor. I'm getting vibrations. getting vibrations through my feet.
Groovy.
I think it's the Capital Radio people. Can you tell them to keep it down a bit? God. And stop talking in my ear. I know that a professional broadcaster doesn't mind that, but I'm not one, and I do. Mr. Rhys Davis said all of the above things. Don't make me repeat them, because my throat's bad enough as it is. Not that I'm complaining or anything.
Whinging and whining and moaning.
He says, I've never seen such a level of anger, which is, odd. Odd the reception that he got from the Brexiteer ultras, because last week I heard that actors only lived in a bubble, and they didn't know about the lives of ordinary people. Turns out that actors do not live in a bubble and are deeply connected with the lives of ordinary people. I should get my hearing checked. Or maybe it's just a female thing. We are no longer interested in the opinions of female actors. Addressing the MPs on the panel, he said, your primary objective is to preserve democracy, and whatever you may feel, you have betrayed democracy. No, wrong. They are upholding democracy. What he seems to want, like the Brexiteer ultras, is to trample over Parliament in order to give control to Parliament. They want to take control from our elected representatives in order to give control to them. Does that make sense?
No.
And besides, it's not upholding democracy if the original referendum was crooked, which it was. That's beyond dispute. Fines have been levied and paid, guilt has been admitted and proved. But the bigger criminals have got off scot-free so far, mainly because the government's too embarrassed to look into it. Embarrassed and the beneficiary of that criminality. Where did the millions that funded the Leave campaign come from? We don't know. Who sprayed the internet with the billions of fake ads posing as concerned citizens on Facebook? Russia? We don't know. The Leave side overspent by 10% and won by 3%. And that's to say nothing of the tsunami of lies that were put out to persuade people to vote against their best interests, which were so effective, those lines still get spouted out today by people that took on board the first thing they heard that chimed with their prejudices and then closed their ears and their minds like a whale's blowhole. And that's to say nothing of the fact that one in every of the 100 or so, every one rather, of the 100 or so polls, bar about 2, taken since the referendum, remain one every time. Every single time, bar about 2. In every poll, they take them about once a week since the referendum, Remain have won almost every single one of them. Can we stop saying that Leave is the will of the people? It isn't. Leave is the will of some people who shout the loudest. It's the will of a very few well-funded men, many of whom don't even live here, who've used their wealth to direct the future of this country while they languish in tax havens abroad. We've all been conned. And Britain's heading into local and European elections with Nigel Farage's new Brexit party predicted to clean up. And that is likely for the same reason that Leave won. Leavers are single-issue obsessives. They think of nothing else because they've been promised a lottery ticket to a better life. But we just want Brexit. Remainers don't vote on only one thing, however, so their vote's going to be split among different parties. Therefore, the single-issue obsessives will win. You only need a highly motivated 30% of the electorate to win any vote. It's the same number, coincidentally, that Donald Trump won with. And, coincidentally, he was helped by the very same people that delivered Brexit. Nigel Farage said he's planning to take on the Tories and Labour in the next general election. Yeah, you go, Nige. You know, if at first you failed to become an MP and you fail at second and third and fourth and fifth and sixth and seventh attempt, just keep doing the same thing over and over. That'll work. You know, but next time you might actually get more votes than a man in a dolphin suit. Uncle Nige said he wants to run candidates for Parliament in future to stop MPs blocking Brexit, because we just want Brexit. There was a news a report from one of Uncle Nige's rallies, one of his safe space rallies. And the reporter asked some of the individuals at the front why they were so adamant and vociferous. They didn't really know, but they knew what they wanted. They didn't know why they wanted it, but they knew what they wanted. And he said, and the reporter said, well, you know, that by all accounts, there's going to be a lot of people who lose their jobs. And the guy said, I don't care, which took the reporter aback a bit. And he sort of repeated his question just to make sure that he got the right answer. He said, you don't care that a lot of people will lose their jobs? And the guy said, no. We just want Brexit, which sounds pretty unpatriotic to me. Those that wave the flag the most seem to care the least. What a bizarre and twisted world we live in. 0345 6060 973. You can text 84850, email nick@lbc.co.uk, and if you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. Friday and Saturday night at 10, Nick Abbott, LBC.
This is LBC.
What?
This is LBC with Nick Abbott. Call 0345 6060 973. Tweet @LBC. Text 84850.
Are you trying to be funny? Because I'm all out of laughs.
Trying, yes. Harry on Twitter says, why are you putting on a deep Cockney voice to disparage Leave voters? Well, A, why not? B, some Leave voters who need disparaging have a deep Cockney voice. And C, reel your neck in, mate. Not everything is about you. God, everyone's poised at the end of their on the edge of their seat, desperate to take offence about something. If I'd done it in a gay Glaswegian's voice, would you also have written in and complained? Because I can do the whole show like this. I can do 3 hours like this. If that would make you happier. This says Abbott. It's a bit rude, isn't it? A bit presumptuous. Abbott? How about Mr. Abbott to you?
Be polite.
Says, Abbott, are you going to have to get a lock-up garage for your old car? No, I think you have to be a criminal to get a lock-up garage, don't you? I think you actually have to provide proof that you are a criminal and are going to keep a dead body in there. I've seen Minder, and I've seen that woman who smoked a lot. What was her name? The woman who smoked a lot. She was fighting against a negative view of women in the force, and she smoked a lot. And there was always prostitutes getting killed. What was that? What am I thinking of?
Oh, I don't know. I'm new here.
I was expecting a woman to answer. My God, every time I look up, it's somebody else. I swear, 10 minutes ago, there was a woman sitting in that chair. What the hell's going on in there? I mean, I know that I don't have any idea who it's going to be until about 5 minutes after I've started, and somebody, eventually wanders in there. But usually they stay for at least an hour. They're changing them every 20 minutes now. Is it something I've said?
Yes.
Here's West Hampstead. Hello, Ruth.
Oh, hey, was it Juliet Bravo?
No, it was the other one. She
No,
smoked
Cagney
and smoked
Lacey?
and smoked. No. She was an English one, very, very famous actress.
I don't know.
And there was always prostitutes getting killed.
Oh, no.
And
no,
there was the thing
I
about,
don't watch a lot of TV.
Yeah, there was the
So
thing
what,
about
what
lock-up.
era are we talking about?
Oh, this is
70s,
decades ago, 80s
Decades
probably,
ago.
90s maybe.
I would like to say I'm too young, but I'm not too young.
No, probably not.
Nick, are you feeling better now? We were a little bit worried about you.
Well,
after you inhaled from that skip.
Yeah, that Welsh accent has put me back a couple of weeks.
Oh dear. I thought it was the Glaswegian one that put you back.
Oh no, that's
You're
easy.
feeling better, are you? No, we're concerned.
The Welsh one is way at the back of the throat and deep. The gay Glaswegian is right at the front of the of the mouth.
Oh well, that's all right then. As long as you're better.
Yeah, it's
Nick,
easier.
I have a Twitter friend.
Yeah.
Well, a Twitter follower. Actually, it's not really a friend, is it? I should say. He was in the audience of the Question Time.
Oh yeah.
And he said there categorically was no standing ovation, and that Jacob Rees-Davis was boorish all night and was extremely aggressive towards Caroline Lucas.
Hey, leave Caroline Lucas alone. She's a greenie.
I love Caroline Lucas.
Yeah.
I think she's brilliant.
Why?
I'd vote for her.
Why on earth did they have an actor on?
I have no idea. I think because, there are a plethora of people in this country that like to listen to actors, reality TV stars. It's more on the level, really, maybe. I don't know.
But such an odd actor. I mean, you wouldn't be able to pick him out of a lineup.
Well, maybe this just sort of says that the case for Brexit is getting increasingly more obscure.
I thought that he was about
you have
2
to-
foot tall as well, because I've only ever seen him in Lord of the Rings.
Who did he play in Lord of the Rings?
A mad axeman.
A mad axeman.
He played a
So
garden gnome, like a violent
Well, they were all-
garden gnome.
They were all sort of hobbits, weren't they? So
Well,
none of them
that's
were
just rude,
particularly-
Ruth. That's
No,
that's
no,
offensive
it's not
to the
rude,
Hobbit
it's not.
community. How dare you?
Well, it's only offensive to hobbits, and that's okay. I actually quite fancy Elijah Wood. So that's
Oh
fine.
my
even
God!
With, even the big
with his
hairy
feet.
Yes,
Shocking.
yes, I did. I had a big crush on him, actually.
He had to walk around in those feet like a lot, and you never
know.
really get a glimpse of them. You know, that film lasts about 12 hours, and his feet are
He
on
was
screen
like
for about 3
3
seconds.
years wearing those big feet.
Yeah, nightmare.
That's ridiculous.
Still, he'll have to comfort himself with all of that money.
Well, he hasn't made many films since, has he? And
Well,
what he has made...
if I had that kind of money, I wouldn't get out of bed. In fact, I'd pay people to roll me just so I didn't get bed sores.
Well, actually, Elijah Wood's been working since he was about 5, isn't he, in film? So he's probably due retirement now anyway.
Right.
So, yeah. Well, I'm glad that you're feeling better, Nick.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Ruth. Okay,
Yes,
cheers,
no
my dear.
problem.
There we go. There's a spy report from the inside of Question Time, and there weren't no ovation. But I don't think the paper said standing ovation, but that was the implication. When you hear ovation, then you mentally insert standing. Lots of listeners are saying prime suspect, correct Amundo. You could get lung cancer just watching that program. She smoked and she smoked and she smoked. That's it. That is. I mean, I know you're new and all. So far, are we satisfied? Well, let's have a call in Woodford. John.
Nick Abbott.
Yes, John.
This is difficult because there's no way I'm going to come on and be in opposition to what you say. I've listened to you now late at night, and I wonder why you're not actually on more when the general public are listening, because you seem to come across... No, stop laughing, because I don't want you to laugh at me, because I'm really being logical and sensible here. I'm a very sensible person.
Well, then you have no position being on this show, logical and sensible. We're not remotely interested in logic or sense.
Yeah, but how come you seem to come out with answers that give me answers to the way I feel? Because I'm very confused about Brexit and this and that, and somehow maybe you're a bit blasé about everything, but it seems to come across that you are right.
Okay, well, blasé is one of those filthy foreign words, and it has no place on this programme.
Look, don't cut me off, please.
Well, what question do you have? What is your query, John?
Well, how come you have it right and everybody else doesn't see that? Right. And maybe that's coming across as wrong, but the fact is...
No, that sounds completely correct to me.
I don't see why people can't see...
Exactly. Why can't they just listen to me?
Are we all so blind to the real truth? And you seem, in your presentation, to come across with truth in a rather funny way, and you bring it across that we are all so stupid, and you're right. And
well, I didn't say that.
No, you didn't.
You may think that, John. I couldn't possibly comment.
No, please, listen to me. I'm saying that your attitude to this country's attitude to Brexit and everything seems to be so logical, and yet you're the only one that says it, apart from James.
James O'Brien, yeah, me and James O'Brien.
You and James O'Brien, I mean. So where are the public going wrong in not listening to James, and you particularly, who's on so late at night, everybody's asleep by then?
Well, I'm asleep.
Why the hell is this not made more prevalent?
Why is this show being kept a secret? Is that what you're saying? You know, this programme should actually be on the radio so that the public might be able to hear it and educate themselves. Yeah, listen, John, I'm going to have to go, but thanks a lot, mate. 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nick@lbc.co.uk. And if you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. Friday and Saturday night at 10, when no one's listening. This is Nick Abbott on LBC. It's just past 10:30, the news headlines with Andy Ivey.
Nick Abbott on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
I'm taking you off the air. I think you're having a breakdown.
Yeah, a little bit of a breakdown. Danny on Twitter said, I should not have attempted that Welsh accent. Speaking Welsh is very, very dangerous.
Warning, warning.
Speaking with a Welsh accent, I mean. But speaking Welsh itself is probably kill you. Danny on Twitter says, Nick, humans have been around for 200,000 years. No, I think it's 6,000 years. We used to run around with the dinosaurs. Did you know that? It's a fact. I read it in a book. He says, humans have been around for 200,000 years. Do you honestly believe we're all going to be gone in 12 years or so? Is that a reference to climate change? Because, Danny, I mean this with the greatest respect, you would have to be a special kind of stupid if that's what you think climate change is about. That the human race is going to be gone in 12 years. Have people learnt nothing? This says, Abbott, can you or any of your viewers remind me if the Wicked Witch in The Wizard of Oz was from the East or the West? Brackets, serious question, says Max. Well, these are the sort of up-to-date issues that we need to be discussing on this programme. Well, it's alliterative, isn't it? It's the Wicked Witch of the West. It has to be the wicked one. The witch from the East was... that was the bright white one at the end, which was pretty racist, actually, when you think about it, because the Wicked Witch of the West was all dressed in black, and the good witch from the East was all dressed in white. Offensive. Stockton-on-Tees. Hello, Brian.
Yeah, good evening, Nick.
Oh, God.
Well,
I mean, hello.
Hello. Well, you know, question time, total bias to Remain. They always overload with Remainers all the time. Same as daily politics, everything. The bias is unbelievable.
No, what you mean, Brian, is that there was one person on there who said something you disagreed with.
No.
Yes.
I'm not saying what they said, Nick. What I'm saying, it's always 3-1. 3 Remainers to 1 Leaver.
Right, well, I don't know who else was on that programme. I don't watch that programme.
You watch it.
No, I won't watch it. I refuse to watch it. I won't do my homework.
You watch daily politics, do you?
No.
As well.
Well, you're talking about the thing on Sky?
No, on 12:15.
Oh, well, what's that thing with, what's it on Sky? Isn't that called the Daily Politics? It's on in a weird time of day. It's
BBC.
It's on at about 9. Listen to me. It's on about 9 o'clock in the morning. With you know, the big guy, Jabba the Hutt. It's on about 9 o'clock in the morning, which is such a weird time to have a politics show. Who in politics is watching that programme? People watching TV at that time of day want game shows and, you know, all that, the antiques programme,
anyway, Nick,
rubbish the BBC serves up.
I'm really upbeat the way Brexit is going.
Is this you upbeat?
I'm very upbeat about it. I mean, the Conservatives...
I would hate to hear you when you're down.
The Conservatives and the Labour are destroying themselves. Brilliant. Brilliant. But the longer this drags on, the weaker they're getting.
Well, the weaker we're all getting.
These two parties are getting weaker by the day.
Well,
as
they represent much of the country, that rather implies that the country is also getting weaker.
And I wanted Theresa May out, but I'm not bothered now. I'm not bothered if she stays or she goes, because the longer she stays, the more we're going to get Brexit.
The more you're going to get Brexit? Explain that to me.
Because the only thing, as I get weaker and weaker, is leave with either a trade deal or no deal. But they can't. The Conservatives now are in a position where they can't even go for customs union single market because they'll just get wiped out in a general election. You know, They've put themselves in a corner, and they still can't get rid of her. I'm not bothered, as I say, she stays as she goes now. And Labour now, they're just the same. They can't decide what they want. They don't know if they want a second referendum. Tom Watson, he wants to go the other way. Corbyn.
Well, this is why we elect our parliamentarians. We don't elect robots.
Affirmative.
We want people to think for themselves, and this is what you get when you give control to Parliament. You have a lot of independent-minded people who come to decisions based on who come to decisions based on their own opinions and the information that they have at hand.
But we all know now the opinions. They don't know what they're doing. They can't agree with each other, both
Yes,
parties.
but not being able to agree with each other is not the same as not knowing what they're doing.
Well,
This is what a democracy is like, Brian. I thought this is what people like you wanted, to give control to Parliament. But you don't. You don't want to give control to Parliament. You want to take control for yourself and tell Parliament what to do.
No, I don't.
Yes, you
No,
do.
I don't.
Yes, you absolutely
I'll
do.
tell you what I want, shall I? Tell you what I want. I want these two useless parties to keep losing power because they're not fit for purpose. They can't agree with each other, both main parties. They
can't agree with each other. That's not that's not the point of them to agree with each other.
Come on, Nick. Nick, you call these parties when it suits you. You said they don't know what they're doing. Now you're saying they do know what they're doing. Just because it suits your argument.
No, that's two different arguments. I'm saying that they don't know what they're doing on whatever issue it might be at hand. But your contention is that they must be given control. So in that regard, parliamentarians do know what they're doing. They're deciding. Oh God.
They've lost control, haven't they? That's the point. That's what I'm trying to say to you, Nick. They've lost control.
Control
on everything, not just Brexit. They've lost control of the police, controlling everything.
Well, that's because we have become a country that just attends now to those that shout the loudest, and those that shout the loudest are saying, as with one voice, as though the rest of their happiness, health, and welfare depends on it, that they want Brexit above all else. They don't care about crashing the economy, and they don't care about the NHS, and they don't care about the police, and they don't care about the schools. They don't care about anything. They just want Brexit.
You've got the other bombshell now, haven't you? Corbyn is going to snub the Queen.
Yeah. No, it's not the Queen. It's not the Queen he's snubbing.
Well, Trump, then. Trump.
Yeah.
And Vince Cable's going to do the same.
Yes.
You know, and you'll probably agree with that, do you, Nick?
Well, what's wrong with that? Oh, God. Why is it that people like you, Brian, seem to think on every given issue in the same way? I bet you have a similar opinion on being polite. You would call it political correctness. You're against it, yes? Yes. You're against political correctness, but you're for the Queen. Yes?
I'm not for the Queen.
I bet you are.
I'm not a royalist. I'm not a royalist.
I bet you are.
No, I'm not.
I bet you are down to your Union flag socks.
You know what I am more than me, do you?
I've got a fair idea of you up and down. Yeah, I could draw a diagram of your every waking thought. I'll just refer to your last call for your opinion on any future subject, because I know it'll all be the same, regardless of what the topic is. Just refer to the most right-wing opinion on every topic, and that's what I think. It's painful, Brian. But anyway, lovely to speak to you, and thanks for the call. Ken from Sunny Margate says, why do you keep slagging off my hero, Donald Trump? I shall be waving my flag when he comes to meet the Queen. Shame Corbyn won't be there. Your hero, Donald Trump. I assume you're joking. Please be joking. Hero. Craig says, did you hear the furious anti-climate change protester who phoned into Eddie Mair's show? It was simultaneously hilarious and soul-destroying. No, I did not. But I'd like to hear a tape of it. And Andrew in Chelsea says, please stop saying Brexiteers didn't know what they were voting for. They didn't. He says, the number one reason given in surveys of Brexiteers was having control of our laws. Yeah, exactly. You want to give control to Parliament, but then Parliament makes a decision that you don't like, and then you want to take control from it and give it to who? Nigel Farage. What you people seem to want is a dictator. You don't want a group of independently minded people coming to a decision based on their own opinions and experience. That is not what you want. You want a dictator to enact your policies, which is not bringing back control. It's the opposite of that. Anyway, the full thing is, stop saying Brexiteers didn't know what they voted for. The number one reason given in surveys of Brexiteers was having control of our laws and not having the EU, a supranational organisation, making them for us. Only in Europe does this exist. The rest of the world wouldn't want it. Why should we? Okay, so many things are wrong with that. First of all, the number one reason given in surveys by Brexiteers was not having control of our laws. It was stopping foreigners coming here. That was the number one reason. Laws, my eye. I've heard that so many times. People call in and say, oh, we can't wait to get out from underneath the European courts. There's all these laws. They're just holding us back. And every single time, there's not a question that comes out of the blue. It's the same question every time. Which law are you most aggrieved about, I ask? Met with an echoing silence. I mean, you'd think that if you were expressing that opinion really strongly, that you would actually, do your homework and come up with just one law. Just give me one. They couldn't. I must have asked that question dozens of times and never gotten a single answer. And the EU, a supranational organisation making our rules for us. Well, only in the way that parliamentarians make our rules for us. It's not an unelected organisation. Please tell me you don't still believe that. It's excruciating. It really is painful. I mean, the same conversation with people year after year after year. It's like 3 years now I've been having this conversation, and people still call in with the same stupid things. Oh, they're all unelected and they're dictating to us, and well, there I go with the Cockney accent again. I apologise.
I am very sorry that I screwed up.
I'll never do it again. Until next time. 0345 6060 973. You can text 84850. Email nick@lbc.co.uk. And if you're on Twitter, it's at LBC. Friday and Saturday night at 10, Nick Abbott, LBC. Hey, let me remind you about my podcast. I'm sort of a week behind now because everybody's been on holiday. So the people that normally squirted up the internet, they haven't been here. But the one from 2 weeks ago is now up, and that one has got Nigel Farage swinging.
Disgusting.
Yes. Now, you'll have to listen to it to get the full story, but it's not Nigel Farage personally swinging, but swingers are associated in some way with Nigel Farage. It's a curious tale, and you can hear it on my podcast, which is called The Nick Abbott Habit. If you've got a phone and you listen to it on your phones, then download Global Player from the App Store, and you'll find it in the podcast there. You just scroll down to the Global Podcast and then scroll across through Chris Moyles and James O'Brien and Ian Dale and Steve Allen, and you keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. And I'm right there at the end, under a pile of coats, in a cupboard, with no light in the hallway, to make it easier for people to find. So you'll find it there, and if you just listen on your PC, then do an internet search. Ask for it by name, The Nick Abbott Habit.
Leading Britain's conversation. LBC with Nick Abbott.
Well, the whole world's gone crazy.
Andrew in Chelsea calls again, or texts again. He says, Nick, you are factually wrong. What? He says, control of immigration was the number 2 reason that Brexiteers gave. No. He says, but I guess you don't care about facts. Look up the surveys, says Andrew in Chelsea. I have looked up the surveys, Andrew, and I'm completely correct in every respect. Immigration was the number 1 reason that Brexiteers gave for voting out. Just because you want it to be true doesn't make it a fact, Andrew. Durham. Hello, Elizabeth.
Hello, Nick. I heard Brian on again this evening, and what I would like to say is I'd like him to go and feed us ferrets, and then perhaps he may want to strike up a conversation with Anne Whitcomb. They could be good buddies, the pair of them.
Did you say feed a ferret?
Yes.
What does that mean?
I wish we would go and feed us ferrets. I live not too far away from him, I'm ashamed to say.
Oh, is he a ferret fondler?
Well, he
is that the correct name for people who?
I nearly swore there. I haven't a clue, but I'm sure he has ferrets.
Oh, so you don't actually know him? I thought that you
no,
said...
No,
okay.
No,
Okay.
I wouldn't know. I don't know him. And
maybe
I would like to know him, but I think he would be a great mate for Anne Whitcomb. I think we could learn to dance together.
Get on like a house on fire, yeah.
Have a tete-a-tete. She wouldn't understand a word he had to say, but they're both leavers, so they get along just great.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure that all levers would get on together, but I think that in my limited experience of talking to them on the phone, fury and anger seems to be their defining emotions, and if two people are furiously angry in the same room as each other, I think sparks may fly.
She is quite strident in her attitude. I saw her the other morning on television, and I put the television on expecting to see her because I'd heard the night before that she was joining the gang, and sure enough, there she was. Yep, wonderful.
I could imitate her, but I knew. But doing the Welsh guy has caused me enough pain. Doing that cracked voice of Anne Willis, I just couldn't do it. Could not do it, Elizabeth. But anyway, thanks a lot. Cheers, my dear. 0345 ferrets, you say? 0345 6060 973. Let's have a call in Oxford. Joshua.
Hello, Nick.
Joshua.
I spoke to you about 2 years ago last time, just after we voted for Brexit.
Oh, yes.
I don't know if you remember, but I voted for it, and I never thought it was going to happen. I just did it as a sort of protest for the establishment.
Just for giggles?
Yeah, well, not for giggles, and more, I did want it to happen, and I still want it to happen, but I didn't think it was going to go through.
Right.
But what I wanted to say is, I think with Donald Trump, a lot of these sort of populist things that happen recently, is if you constantly tell people, right, oh, if you vote for this, all these negative things will happen. But say you are in like a deprived community, like one of these fishing towns that vote for Brexit, if your job prospects are low anyway and you've got a pretty negative existence, you're just going to vote for anything that changes the status quo.
Yes, you're going to vote for a snake oil salesman or like a used car salesman, a con man who comes along and tells you, just follow me and your life will be a wondrous rainbow of delights.
I think it's even a case of like people thinking, even believing that it will be better, like with all the, the NHS business, all these millions. It's literally a case of things aren't good for me now, and they haven't been for a decade in my community. Mm-hmm. So why would I keep listening to the same people that have been saying the same things for, New Labour, the Conservatives? Right. I just want change, and anything these guys are saying, I'm going to vote for.
Right.
But on one other point...
wait a minute, but you have to... in all of that, I understand everything you just said, and it is understandable that people might think that, but they should at least investigate who it is that is telling them that their life is going to be better. Who it is that is telling them that they should stop listening to the elites. Because comically, the people that gave us Brexit are more fantastically rich than the elites that they're talking about. They're the people behind Brexit are the super elite. But they've managed to make people think that they're actually on their side. And I have to say to you, when in your experience has a billionaire ever gone out of their way to do you a favour?
Well, I'll answer that question. Well, there's plenty of billionaires on the Remain side as well.
There are?
And, there's plenty of big corporations that benefit from the European Union as well, so I don't think it's clear-cut as that. I'd also say that it's more important to actually focus on the argument rather than the people that are giving the argument, rather than ad hominem.
But there was no argument. There was even the people that brought us Brexit said that don't give people facts; it's white noise to them. That was their phrase. God, Joshua, seriously, this phone is terrible. Whichever brand it is, you want to change it straight away. It's like you're calling us from the moon, or from a submarine or something. But I can't bear it anymore. But anyway, thanks a lot, mate. 0345 6060 973, or just maybe back off a couple of feet from the phone. Sounds like you've swallowed it. This says, interesting conversation, that last one. Probably not the one that I just had, because this message is minutes old. It says, it shows our own narrative and thoughts, anti-royalty, anti-Trump, pro-Remain. So rightly or wrongly, you say to that caller, I know where you're coming from, but it's obvious where you're coming from. You can't hide it, right or wrong. You came from a point of view, lol. Does that make sense? Well, not on first reading. Shall I read it again?
No.
Okay, then. Richard in Holborn says, the Witch of the East from The Wizard of Oz was called Glinda. She was the white blonde one, and a very good witch, in my opinion. Closely followed by the one in Cinderella that sings bibbidi bobbidi boo. Well, I've never seen it written out. Bibbidi bobbidi boo. Bibbidi. Bibbidi. Oh no, it is bibbidi bobbidi boo. See, that's fake news. Me telling you that was wrong. Bibbidi, Bibbidi. He says, now that's a proper tune. All the best. Thanks a lot, Richard. Now we're really getting deep down into the issues. Does this show make sense yet?
No.
And furthermore...
No.
Now, coming up, Theresa May is clinging on. She's a Klingon. They've been trying to prize her off and kick her out the door for, it seems like, a dog's age, and she just will not go. And neither will her deal. I mean, we may be seeing a rerun of the rerun of the rerun of that. The stuff that's happening. Plus, you know who? Ancient Orange is on his way, and people are desperate not to see him. All that and more coming up with me, Nick Abbott, after the new news at 11 on LBC.
This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Abbott.
What's he got to be depressed about?
Milk. There appears to be a milk criminal in the building, and I'm very upset about it. Every now and again, I will go into the kitchenette area, which is just over there, to get my own coffee. I mean, ordinarily, if you are a person on the air, you have somebody else go and get your coffee for you. But not me. I'm a good boy, I am. I go and get it myself. Does Steve Allen go and get his own coffee?
No.
Of course not. He has clouds of assistants surrounding him to attend to his every need. But not me. Not that I'm complaining about it.
Stop whining.
And I go there to get my coffee, and do I need to reach into the fridge to get the milk?
No.
No, of course not, because it's already sitting on the counter. Somebody's gone in there to make their coffee. They go into the fridge, and I know that they've done this because the milk's still cold. They go into the fridge, which is just there, underneath the counter where they're making their coffee, and they make their coffee, and they put the milk in. And by the way, this person... Well, I'll finish this and then get on to the second crime. And do they put the milk back in the fridge?
Negative.
No. What kind of a person takes the milk out of the fridge, puts it in their coffee, and then doesn't put it back in the fridge, leaving it to sit on the top and get warm and go off? That's just plain evil. I'm not saying that it should be the death penalty, but they should at least get shot for it. A little bit. Lightly shot. Why do they... I think it's the hoodlums on Radio X. But I'm too frightened of them to go in there and, give them a piece of my mind. So I'll think negative thoughts about them. That'll teach them. And the other crime, of course, was that, the foil thing that you unscrew the top and there's this foil thing? They only tore off half the foil. What? That just drives me up the wall. Tear the whole lot off. Otherwise the milk doesn't come out right. Good grief. But apart from that, everything's fine. And to think that there's children who will go to bed hungry tonight, but at least they don't have to put up with that. Naz says Parliament always had control. They had the ability to ratify all EU laws. What is this madness that we have descended into? I think that it is collective hope from people who have missed out on life through luck or a run of bad luck, because that's what life is. It's just a series of lucky or unlucky incidents, who believed that voting for Brexit was a lottery ticket to a better life. They were lied to, and they will discover that they were lied to in good time, I suppose, or they will be invited to blame their continued bad luck on something else. I wonder what that'll be. I'm keen to find out. I mean, I've said this several times on this programme, that I'm curious to find out what people will blame for their continued bad luck after we leave the European Union. Dave says, I'm a committed Christian. Oh. Shall I go on? I'm a committed Christian, pro-life, pro-Brexit, pro-Israel, and that's why I'm pro-Trump. We share the same values. I assume you're joking. That's one of the funniest things I've ever read. Congratulations, Dave. You win today's prize. Prize not available. I'm a committed Christian, pro-life, pro-Brexit, pro-Israel, and that's why I'm pro-Trump, for we share the same values. Yeah, that's what the porn star that he slept with while his wife was pregnant says. This says, or you could just give your old car to Jacob Rees-Mogg, because he likes old cars. He could give it a nice home. He likes old cars, does he? He doesn't look like a car man. I could see him on a penny farthing. Maidenhead. Hello, Sandra.
Oh, hi, Nick. I've been listening to your show for many, many years, but never actually rang in to speak to you. I know you're going to shoot me down. I actually rang to speak to you about Donald Trump's visit. But before I do, you said earlier about what laws of the EU brought in that nobody likes. Well, one for me is this light bulb business. You know, they put our light bulbs, haven't they? Ruined them. I mean,
Sandra, please speak directly into the phone.
I am speaking into the phone. Can you hear me?
Well, I can now.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, light bulbs.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Yeah, they've ruined our light bulbs, you know. But moving on, about this Donald Trump visit.
Are we on speakerphone?
No.
Right, so please speak directly into the phone.
Oh, sorry. I thought I was.
You're getting very excited and you're just waving the phone around in front of your face. You're coming and going, Sandra.
Sorry. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Sorry.
The thing with light bulbs is they're trying to save the planet. The amount of energy that is used up with the old incandescent bulbs is phenomenal, and you can tell that that's true because when they're on, you can't touch them, can you? All of that energy is going into heat, not light. Therefore, if you multiply that by all of the light bulbs in the country or the world, the amount of energy that is required to produce the heat, not the light, is absolutely unbelievable. So somebody had to do something, and I think you'll find the entire world is either following along or taking the lead. I don't know who did it first, whether it was the EU or not, but congratulations to them. The problem for a short period was that bulbs hadn't been invented yet to recreate the light of the old incandescent bulbs. But the light bulb industry would never have done that, just like the car industry would never have made engines more economical to run if governments of the world had not enacted regulations that forced them to do it.
Oh, okay. But can I just mention about this Donald Trump visit, please?
Okay.
But my father served on D-Day. My uncle was shot down in a Lancaster in Bomber Command, and he lays in a French cemetery just before D-Day. And I think I know some people don't like Donald Trump, and I don't like some of the things he does and he says, but I think we should respect him as the President of the United States.
No.
Especially coming over on the 17th.
No. We will respect him as the President of the United States of America when he respects the office of the President of the United States of America, and that's not some child that sits in bed eating chicken out of a bucket, searching the TV channels for positive images of himself while he tweets insults to former Miss Worlds.
Yeah, I know. I understand what you're saying about him as a person, but the thing is, the people in America elected him to be president. He's not going to come over.
Not as many as voted for Hillary, but let's just let that pass.
Well, anyway, I just think we should show him the respect as President of the United States in memory of all those fallen soldiers.
Oh, please, Sandra, what on earth has that got to do with the fallen from old world wars? God, let's get off the History Channel, for crying out loud. This country is still fighting World War II.
I don't think we should forget World War II either. I really don't think we should forget that all those people that...
Yeah, I know, and the Germans are all Nazis and they're coming to get us. It's just painful, Sandra, please. Stop watching the Hitler programs. I can't stand it anymore. But thanks for the call. So nice to hear from you after all this while. Juliet in Forest Gate says, I missed a bit of your show as I just had to chase my ferret Steve, who'd made a run for it upstairs. When I got back, you were talking about ferrets. What did I miss? I have 2 furry babies, Steve and Rhubarb, says Juliet in Forest Gate, which is an excellent reason to move from Forest Gate. Ferrets? Is that even legal? Or kind? I mean, I don't know what a ferret actually does in the wild, but it's probably not stays in houses. They probably run and frolic. I've got no idea. What's a ferret actually for? This says, you could always become a vegan like me. Oh, no thanks. If you use soya milk, it's less likely to get stolen. As a long-term vegan, I can confidently say that switching to a plant-based diet won't kill you. However, not switching to a plant-based diet probably will. Just saying. P.S. Did I mention I'm a vegan? Well, let me think.
Yes.
Yes, you did. No, I like the taste of food, therefore I can't become a vegan. Sorry about that. I mean, I was a vegetarian who ate fish for 20 years. I've done my bit. Meat. I like meat. I like the taste of meat. I like the smell of it, the touch of it, the feel of it. So anyway, they keep trying to push Theresa May out, and she keeps refusing to be pushed. I just get the sense that she's going to see them all off. She was given a chance to quit in a few weeks, rather than being abruptly cast out by a vote by the... well, they always refer to them in the press as the powerful 1922 committee. Are they powerful?
No.
Not really. They gave her a chance to quit in a couple of weeks rather than being cast out. And why would they be so nice? Well, it's not them not being nice at all. It's them freaking out at the prospect of Bozo the Clown becoming their leader.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
An unnamed MP said Bozo, a born-again hardline Brexiteer, would likely push for a no-deal Brexit at this stage rather than take place in the European elections next month. But a no-deal Brexit may trigger a general election, which may threaten Brexit itself. But we just want Brexit. One 1922 committee member told the Super Soraway Stun, getting rid of Theresa before Brexit is done means getting Boris. Boris would mean no deal. No deal would mean a general election, and that would be the end of Brexit altogether. And you know what? It might be the end of the Conservative Party altogether. This really is amazing. All of these so-called powerful people in the shadows and the backbenches and the leading lights of the right wing of the right-wing party, they've been trying to prise Theresa May off the rock of the Tory party, but she's stuck on there like a limpet. She will not go. And the limp lettuces of the 22 committee and the even limper European Research Group have done their best. Boy, have they ever. Heaving at her to unstick the Prime Minister, and she's just casually flicking them away, like tiddlywinks. Tiddlywinks, by the way, for the benefit of the young, was a game that children used to play before the invention of drugs.
Correct.
The 1922 committee gathered to decide whether to change or not the rule stating that the leader can only be challenged once every 12 months. You know, because they tried to get her out once. They tried it on once and failed. So by their own rules, they've got to wait another year. And then it gets comical, because those that insist that there must be no rerun of the referendum with a second vote want a rerun of the referendum of no confidence in the PM and hold a second vote. It's good they've got principles, because where would they be without them? Eurosceptics wanted to modify the internal rule and allow a new vote every 6 months, or until they get the answer they require. The stuff you hear, eh? And Mrs M won that confidence vote in December by 200 to 117. And so under current rules, she can't be challenged again until the end of this year. But the people who don't believe in voting again on a referendum want to vote again on a referendum. Gee, you couldn't make it up, could you? The chair of the 1922 committee, Sir Graham Brady, said last night it would be a surprising response if the Prime Minister suggested she might stay on for so many months. Well, prepared to be surprised. I think Theresa's going to outlast them all. You go, girl! Is it appropriate to say you go, girl, to the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom at this time?
No.
How about any other time?
Negative.
Then I withdraw it. 0345 6060 973. You can text 84850. Email nicka@lbc.co.uk. And if you're on Twitter, it's at LBC. Friday and Saturday night at 10, Nick Abbott, LBC.
Leading Britain's conversation. LBC with Nick Abbott.
This guy is sick. There's something wrong with this guy.
Alan says, I like Trump because everyone else hates him. Well, that's an excellent reason to do that, Alan. In other words, you just like annoying people. There's a lot of that about. This says, Rees Mogg has a large collection of old cars. Last Sunday, he went to church in a 1936 car. Well, see, I think that sentence would probably make more sense if it read, last Sunday he went to church in 1936. June in Wimbledon says, we are still affected by World War II. If all those soldiers hadn't died for our freedom, you wouldn't be mocking the President of America as you are now. We're still affected by World War II. How? I mean, apart from it filling up the History Channel for 24 hours a day, how are we affected still by World War II? There's a large number of people who are still absolutely obsessed with the Nazis. Like, it's the only thing we ever won. Barry in Southgate says, as Donald Trump cannot stay at Buckingham Palace, keep up his ego by getting Prince Philip to pick him up at the airport. Pick him up at the airport. Yeah, I think that they should get Bjork to pick him up at the airport. 0345 6060 973. That's quite an old reference now, but it's worth looking up on the World Wide Wait if you haven't seen it yet. Belvedere, Mark.
Hello, Nick. How are you, mate?
Good, thanks.
I've got one question for you. Cast your mind back before David Cameron mentioned this referendum on Brexit and leaving the EU. Do you ever remember anyone saying, can't wait to get out of the EU?
No, not once.
Because I can't. And what he's done, there should be a referendum on what we call ourselves. Currently we're called the United Kingdom, but he's divided the kingdom. Politics has never been so divisive as it is now.
Yeah.
This has gone far deeper than politics. People, families have fallen out. It's gone so much further than what... It's just disastrous. It really is.
Yes.
There's no other word. And it's all Cameron's fault. There's no two ways about it.
Yes, that moon-faced numpty in his shed has ruined this country.
It's so divided, though, Nick. whichever way it goes. I've never known a dog's dinner of a deal to make the far left and the far right so hacked off at the same time.
Yeah.
Nobody always pleases someone. Theresa May's managed with this deal to tiddle off the left and tiddle off the right.
Well, what she's done is she's tried to negotiate a central position, which means that she isn't going to make anybody happy on the extremes of the left or right, and and so she'll only please those that don't shout very much in the middle. Therefore,
what's your honest?
Go on.
What's your honest? Give me the truth. I mean, it's a hypothetical question. What's your honest judgment of what Farage will do in the Euro votes coming up, the Euro elections coming up? Do you think he'll make waves?
Waves?
Do you think he'll pick up a lot of votes?
Well, it seems obvious to me that if you are a single issue party and about 30% of the public are obsessed with that single issue and are more motivated to go and vote than any other section of society, then you will pick up about 30% of the votes, which is a winning score if everybody else votes for not one party, because there is no really opposite party. There's a whole rainbow of opposite parties that will split the vote. So you only need 30%. You only need a very determined, obsessed 30% to win an election in a democracy, and that's what brought us Trump, and that's what brought us Brexit.
Exactly. If you feed the animal enough information, in the end it will believe it. I can make this better. We can move forward together. British jobs, British people.
Yeah.
And if you feed it enough to the people, they start believing it. They buy into it because they think, you know what? He's talking my language.
You only have to. No facts need to cross your lips. You just need slogans. Three words, 4 at the most. Make America great again. Build the wall. Take back control. That's all you need. You just need to repeat that again and again and again, and people will just fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
All right, thanks a lot, Mark. 0345 6060 973. And that's what we've got, people filling in the blanks. Your life will be tremendous. Fill in the blanks of how you think that a tremendous life would look, and that's what I'm promising you. Dave says, so what? So what? So What is an album by Joe Walsh.
Rock and roll!
I thoroughly recommend it. He says, so what? Donald Trump may have slept with a prostitute, but the beauty of the Christian faith is forgiveness through repentance. Mr. Trump has a good heart. He is the most successful president of modern history and will landslide into a second term, says Dave. Well, first of all, I thought you were kidding, Dave, but now, alarmingly, I think you're serious. You can't possibly think that Donald Trump is a religious man. Mr. Grabby Hands. Mr. I'm the head of the Miss Teen America Beauty Contest, and so I can go backstage and go into their dressing rooms, and there are all these naked girls around, and it's fantastic. And I can do it because I'm the guy who owns the contest. That guy. Mr. Christian Faith. You're kidding me. Are you so deluded that you actually believe that? It's staggering. It really is. It really is just unbelievable that people can be so deluded that they actually buy into that. He has got to be the best con artist ever, and he's not even that bright. All he does is just tell people what they want to hear. Really, just by throwing words out until he gets a round of applause. And then he just goes, oh, okay, that one. You like the wall thing? Oh, okay, well, we're going to go with the wall thing. Lock her up. You like that? Oh, okay, I'm just going to repeat it over and over again. He just throws all these words at the wall like spaghetti, and whatever sticks is what he goes with. And you buy that he's a Christian. Incredible. And as for the forgiveness part, and that's not really what I get from religious types. Well, acceptance, and I think from what I see from religious types, they are almost always the opposite of what Jesus would do. I mean, Jacob Rees-Mogg went to church. Really? What does the Bible say about rich men? Remind me. People just pick and choose passages that they want, and they underline it in red and insist that it's absolutely true and there must be no deviation. And then they completely ignore all the bits that they don't like. I mean, I would say that it's hypocritical. If it wasn't so obviously hypocritical. I've read all of those. Let's have Woolwich, Des. Oh, Des.
Oh, hi.
Des.
Hi, Nick.
Yes, Des.
Thanks for taking my call. I just want to prefix what I want to say by asking you a question, if you don't mind.
Oh, my God. So many people asking me questions.
I know. Do forgive me. Would you trust a common dog to bark, not to bark in a church?
Would I trust a common dog not to bark in the church?
Yeah.
What on earth are you talking about?
John's visit, given his gaps, given his lack of respect for protocol and tradition, him addressing both houses of parliament. There is no guarantee, after all he's done and said, including embarrassing Theresa May. I'm not a big fan of hers, but come on, there's some things you don't do at some level. When the woman is...
What point is it you're making, Des?
I'm making the guy it's a huge risk, allowing him to come and visit and addressing both houses.
Well, we know what he's going to say. He's going to say, I'm the best president ever, I'm fantastic, and I'm huge, and so many people like me, and I'm great. He's going to say that. That's the same thing he always says.
No, you don't know what's coming out of him. We don't know that.
Well, yeah, alarmingly, neither does he.
That's the trouble, So I can understand it's divided people. We understand his office because of his office and the state the country is in. Yet you do have to acknowledge the position and to build relations and trade and all that. But it himself is a huge risk. It flouts every rule available.
If we in this country after Brexit are so desperate that we are pinning our hopes on a huge and tremendous trade deal with that man, then we have definitely taken a wrong turn somewhere. I mean, do we really think that he is a reliable partner? I think this country's lost its mind. 03 and talking about taking back control. We're not going to be taking back control. We'll be giving control to Donald Trump and to BP and to Amazon and Google and Microsoft and every other corporation and bigger country in the world. Taking back control. Desperate for a trade deal with Donald Trump. Which part of that sounds like taking back control? 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nick@lbc.co.uk. If you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. Friday and Saturday night at 10, Nick Abbot, LBC. It's just past 11:30. The news headlines with Andy Ivey.
Leading Britain's conversation. LBC with Nick Abbott.
0345 6060 973. Let's have a call in Middlesbrough. Hello, Kat.
Hello.
Kat.
Yes.
Kat.
Andrew. I mean,
Who?
not Andrew.
Whoever I am. Yes.
Nick. Nick Abbott, my very favourite.
Kat.
That's nice. I like that.
Yeah. Yes, Kat.
Yes. My point is that... Sorry.
We're all on the edge of our seats, Kat.
Well, I think I'm gonna because I think that Donald Trump is not Donald Trump. He's Andy Kaufman. That's not really my point. I was only joking. I still think that.
Andy Kaufman.
You remember Andy Kaufman, right?
Was he the annoying one in Taxi?
He was in Taxi. He was also the one that...
They made a film of him with...
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey, yeah. God, he's got to be... I mean, in a packed list of unfunny comedians, he has to be right at the top. He ruined Taxi. He was terrible in that show. Andy Kaufman.
Well, he wasn't trying to be funny. This
wasn't trying to be funny. It was a sitcom.
I love, this is not my point, but I would love to talk about this with you. So, he had this kind of lifelong thing where he would always do, he would be...
Not funny.
I say this, crap, yeah. He would be crap, but he would never...
Get out of character.
Let on. Yeah, exactly. So if he was Donald Trump, this is not my point. This is not the point I'm up to make. But if he was Donald Trump, he would never, ever, till the day he died, break character.
Right.
He would... This is not my point.
Donald Trump doesn't break character. He's a whining, bright orange narcissist in the morning and at lunchtime and at dinner, 7 days a week.
Yeah, maybe he's Andy
He hasn't
Kaufman.
broken character yet.
What I said to your researchers, who are probably really mad at me right now for going on about this, when you said he's not a Christian,
yeah,
he
doesn't have a Christian bone in his body. I mean, has he lived his life like a Christian, like a holy man? I mean, do me a favour.
I think he's lived a life. I think he's lived his life like a lot of Christians, in a very bad way, doing some terrible, terrible things.
Like if Jesus ever did come back to Earth, then I think he would have a to smite list that would be as long as your arm, and Donald Trump would be right there at the top of it, along with most religious leaders, by the way.
That's what I'm trying to say, because most... no, not most. Most isn't fair. Like, my granddad's a canon, but there's a lot of nastiness in the Christian.
Yeah, there's a lot of nastiness in religion, but that's because it's full of people. People aren't nice just because they spout religious opinions and viewpoints. In fact, in my limited experience, the opposite may be true.
Exactly. So I don't think we can say... No, wait, I do think we can say... I think we can definitely say, look, he can call himself a Christian. Many other people call themselves Christians and do probably not as bad as he's done, because he's obviously done some really bad things, and I don't know why we're giving him the time of day. But I don't think you can say...
It's almost though he's trying to tick off all of the 10 Commandments.
in reverse. Yeah, we're just gonna... When he covets his neighbour's ass, then we're gonna be in trouble.
Well, I think that's happened already. All right, thanks a lot, Kat. Well, I've got them in front of me. That you shall have no gods but me. Well, his God he sees every day in the mirror. But let's just pass by that one. You shall not make yourself any idol, nor bow down to it or worship it. And that seems to be the same as number 2. Seems to be the same as number 1. Just underlining number 1. I mean, they only had 10. You would think that maybe they shouldn't have repeated the same one. Thou shalt not misuse the name of the Lord or your God. That's 3 in a row that are the same. You shall remember and keep the Sabbath day holy. Does he do that? Not really. I mean, playing golf is not keeping it holy. I mean, there are holes involved, but that's not the same thing. He says, respect your father and your mother. Well, we don't know whether he did that or not. We have an idea that his father didn't respect him. He says, you must not commit murder. Well, we don't know that he's actually physically done that personally. So far, he seems to have got away with it. But then you get to the second part of the 10 Commandments, and then it gets a bit negative for our Donny.
Oh, no.
You must not steal. Well, what does that fake university scam that he came up with, which part of that wasn't stealing? Tens of thousands of dollars he took from those people. You must not commit adultery. Well, that's a fail. He says you must not give false evidence against your neighbour. Well, I think that comes under the category of fake news. I mean, how many lies is he up to now? The Washington Post is counting them. I think it was 7,000 during the course of his presidency. He's up to like 10, 15 a day. If Donald Trump says, believe me, you know he's lying. And he says, you must not be envious of your neighbour's goods. You shan't be envious of his house or his wife or anything that belongs to your neighbour. I don't think the neighbour necessarily means the person living next door. I think it just means, anybody in your vicinity. So you failed that one too. God, I think that's about half the 10 Commandments he fails on, and he's working on the other 5. 0345 6060 973. Newcastle. Hello, Ken.
Good evening, Nick.
Ken.
Thanks for taking my call.
Thanks for making your call.
I really appreciate that, and I mean that.
Yeah. Why do I get the feeling that you don't mean that?
Do you know the purpose of the 10 Commandments? Why they are given in the Bible? Why has God given us 10 Commandments?
To give us 10 things we shouldn't do.
Well, the purpose of the 10 Commandments is to point out to us all that we are all guilty sinners. We've all.
Well, you speak for yourself, mate.
Commandments. Well, have you ever told a lie in your life?
No.
That's another lie. That's your sin lie today.
Yeah.
You see, the purpose of the 10 Commandments, Nick, the purpose of the 10 Commandments is to point out to us that we all commit sin and we need a Saviour.
No, the purpose of the 10 Commandments is a guide to life, surely.
No.
Yes.
No.
Thou shalt not murder.
Yes, you can murder somebody with your lips. You can.
No, I don't. Well, you could kiss them to death, I suppose, in extremis. I am imagining it at this moment. You could actually kill someone with your lips.
Disgusting.
But
yes,
it would take a long time.
With gossip.
You could suck them to death.
No, you can destroy people with your gossip. You can destroy their character. You can cause.
Oh, well, in that case, Donald Trump probably has killed people.
Of course, yes, he's guilty. I'm guilty. Are you not guilty? Are you?
I'm not as guilty, that's for sure.
Are you sinless?
I'm not as up to my eyeballs in sin as he is.
No. Are you sinless?
Is this the same question again? I refer you to the answer I gave some moments ago.
Have you committed sin in your life?
It's the same question again.
Well, you won't answer it.
I did. I answered it like 3 or 4 times now. I am not as guilty as he is.
Have you committed
Oh,
sin?
my God. The same question again, Ken.
You are a murderer.
I think that I'm a murderer. Oh, okay. All right, guilty. Slap the cuffs on me, officer. I confess. Painful. Patrick in Guildford says, you milk bandit, Nick. What? Oh, you're milk bandit. See, not me. I'm a good boy, I am. I put my milk away when I've finished with it. He says, your milk bandit is the same calibre of jackass I once had to put straight when I was sharing a flat as a student. For some time, my precious marmalade, peanut butter and Bovril was going down without my help. That was until I began placing advisory notes inside the jars to let the culprit know that I'd been spitting in them after use for the last 2 months. Unsurprisingly, the problem dried up overnight, as did the spit. Yeah. Well, that's disgusting. Thanks, Patrick. Now I feel really ill. If I didn't already after that last call, what with finding out that I'm a murderer and all. 0345 6060 973. You can text 84850. Email nicka@lbc.co.uk. And if you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. But it is just beyond my imagining how people who claim to be religious can hold up Donald Trump as their guiding light. I mean, that is just ridiculous. He fails half of the 10 Commandments. He had sex with a porn star while his wife was pregnant. Oh, he's a godly man. Right. He's your guy. Religious people. Donald Trump is your guy, is he? Staggering. It's the whole world has gone completely insane. It really has. I think there must be something in the water. 0345 6060 973, text 84850, email nick@lbc.co.uk, and if you're on Twitter, it's at LBC, Friday and Saturday night at 10, Nick Abbott, LBC. Let me remind you about my podcast. It's got swinging in it. You know swinging? The thing that you used to advertise by putting pampas grass in your front garden, which I didn't buy that. I've got pampas grass in my back garden. What does that make me? Awful. A prevert. But there's an association with a swinging organisation and Nigel Farage. And I only came across this information by accident. It was an accident. And the story is in my most recent podcast, which you will find if you check out our app, the Global Player. If you download Global Player from your app store, then the podcasts are down at the bottom. You scroll and scroll and scroll till you find mine. It's called the Nick Abbott Habit. Or if you listen to your podcasts on a computer, for instance, then if you do an internet search on it, then it will all become available to you for nothing and, furthermore, free. Ask for it by name, the Nick Abbott Habit.
This is LBC. This is LBC with Nick Abbott.
Would you mind telling me what this is all about?
It's about the disintegration of the planet as we know it, or the people that are on it. The planet's doing just fine. It's the people that are on it are in trouble. Leeds. Hello, Lawrence.
Hello, Rick. How do you do?
Good, thanks.
I'm a massive fan of yours. I'd like to call that the history thing. It's really annoying to me. But in terms of Trump coming to speak in Parliament, it's like we all know that he knows words and he has the best words as well. So there's no concern there. But
just before we go on, Lawrence, are we on speakerphone?
Yeah, I am.
Right, take us off. It's very, very hard to understand what you're saying. And he just hung up.
Sorry, man.
Oh, there you are. Yes.
Yeah, I was just saying, it's like with Trump, it's like he knows words, he knows the best words. Mm-hmm. That's fine.
He does. We know that because he told us.
But yeah, it's like I'm curious because I did history for my degree, and I loved the History Channel, and it's been hijacked by all these right-wingers being like, "We won the war, we won the war," and it's like, do you know what the war was? Do you know what the war actually was? We didn't win the war. We took our part. We did our bit, but we didn't win the war. We were part of the guys. You know, it really annoys me. It really grinds my gears. Sorry, it's a massive. Clearly, as you can hear, it's a massive thing for me.
Yeah. Well, calm down. It might never happen. Oh no, that's right. It already has. Yeah. I just get really tired with the people that are still fighting the Second World War, and they just harp on about it, on and on about, oh, you know, we want to go back to when the bombs were falling and there was no food. You know, the good old days. It's just painful. It's over. We won. Get over it. Thanks a lot, Lawrence. You need to get a new phone because that one is dreadful. Let's have a call in Finchley. Hello, Alex. Did that work? No. Let's try it again. Alex.
Yes.
Yes, Alex.
Yes. I want to correct you on something, Nick.
Oh, no. I've got something else wrong, have I? God, I keep doing it. Why can't I do my research? I'm such an idiot.
Okay. Moses goes up to the mountain, comes down with 10 things written on tablets.
Yeah.
These are not the commandments. he breaks them, he goes back up and comes down with a second lot on the command of commandments, which are totally different to the first lots.
Really?
Yes.
What did the second lot say?
Second lot was more to do with how you should, don't think something along the lines of...
Don't spit on the top deck of the bus.
No, don't feed somebody else's milk to your calf or something.
Right, don't steal.
Well, no,
yes.
To do with giving some other
steal.
Animal's milk.
No, don't steal. Don't steal. Yeah.
It's not stealing.
Well, I think giving somebody else's milk to your own calf, that sounds like stealing. Unless, of course, you have their permission.
It's got nothing to do with calves or somebody else's calf. It's some other calf, some other cow's milk to your own calf.
Yeah, stealing.
It can be like the cow you own already. Something along those lines. I can't remember it, but...
I'm glad you brought it up.
I'll email you with it.
No, thanks. No, I
but
don't...
it's not the right commandments. It's not the right commandment.
They're not... so now you're... Right, so you're serious about me not reading out the right commandments?
You did not read the right commandments.
But there aren't any right commandments. There are just the commandments, surely.
No, there's two versions.
Well, what's the rest of the second one then?
It's just weird. You just have to. It's more to do with what priests want from people rather than what God wants from people.
But don't you think that the first issue would have been the ones that were the most important?
Apparently not.
Says who?
I agree with you.
Says who?
The priest who read the second lot.
Who read them? Well, it doesn't matter who read them. Who wrote them?
Yeah.
Who wrote them?
Who wrote them?
Yeah.
It wasn't God, because God...
Well, then, I think that... I mean, I don't know much about it, but I think that God's word would have sway over the word of some random priest.
I know, but the priest said that God wrote the second lot as well.
Right. So we just take his word for it. Whoever he was.
Well, you have to read the Bible in order.
Oh, well, forget it then. I'll wait till the video comes out, Alex. Too many words.
Well, next time I'll get you a verse and the exact verses that you need to look at.
All right.
Okay.
Send it to me on DVD. Thanks a lot, mate. 0345 6060 973. There's no second list. There's not 20 commandments. There's just 10, surely. And Donald Trump is chewing his way through them as fast as he can. Thou shalt not murder. Well, we don't know that he's not definitely killed somebody with his own hands. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Uh-oh. Wrong. Thou shalt not steal. Wrong again. You fail this test, Donny. Your feet are going to be on fire from now until the end of time. Thou shalt not bear false witness against your neighbour. Well, we know you fail on that count. Liar! And as for coveting your neighbour's ass, well, awful. 0345 6060 973. Let's have Aberdeen. Hello, Keith.
Hi there, how are you doing?
Good, thanks.
I'm phoning up, I just wondered what your take was, or if you'd even heard of the ancient astronaut theory with regards to religion and God and what have you.
What, E.T. came down and scrambled the minds of the cave dwellers, and they thought that it must be God, and that's all. That's fast forward to today, and Donald Trump's is the world's best Christian.
You're not far wrong. But yeah, basically, the ancient alien theory is that around about 40,000 years ago, a group of aliens called the Anunnaki, which they now say was the fallen angels, came to Earth and created the first ever humans by crossbreeding their own DNA with early Homo erectus. And that we were originally created as a slave race. Now, in the Book of Enoch, I don't know, I mean, there's only one mention of the Book of Enoch in the Bible, but in the Book of Enoch, it actually speaks about the Anunnaki in the Book of Enoch, and in the Bible it mentions the Nephilim. Now, the Nephilim were supposed to have been the offspring of when the Anunnaki returned to Earth and bred with the female humans. And the Nephilim were giant people on Earth at the time. So it's really
I've heard of Fields of the Nephilim, but that was an old doom rock band.
Rock and roll!
Other than that, I've got no idea what you're talking about. Other than Robin Williams used to say "nanu nanu," which sounds a lot like what you just said.
Yeah, no, it's quite an interesting theory, you know. There's a program I've watched, and you can actually watch some of the videos about it on YouTube. It's called The Ancient Aliens, and it's been on now for about 7 years. It's on the History Channel now.
Oh, no.
On a Wednesday night, and it is really, really interesting. But it goes around different parts of the world, Peru, South America, and it tries to identify all these massive, huge megalithic structures around the world, and who could have actually moved rocks that weighed 100 ton 20,000 years ago, you know? And where did the Sumerians come from, and how did they suddenly become so clever, you know? So it's really...
And where are they now when we need all those smarts? Yeah.
Well, they reckon that the aliens stayed here, and because we came from them, we really don't recognize them because they look so much like us. But I mean,
some of them look like us. Some of them are a funny colour.
Oh, shut up!
Keith, I'm going to have to go, but thanks for that. 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nick@lbc.co.uk. And if you're on Twitter, it's at LBC. Friday and Saturday night at 10. Nick Abbot, LBC.
With Nick Abbott.
Now, I just wanted to really say that I love you. I respect you. There's nobody I respect more. You're going to do a fantastic job.
Thanks a lot, Donny. He's talking about a woman other than you, Melania.
I don't care.
Not care. 0345 6060 973. Justin in Burton-on-Trent says, surprise, surprise, bad-mouthing the 45th and best president the US has ever had. Any mention of the booming economy, lowest unemployment in 15 years, including that of minority groups. You, Nick, that's unfair. Oh, for crying out loud. He gets his news from Donald Trump's Twitter feed. The stupid runs deep with this one. Maxine in Croydon says, foxes are going nuts outside. What's going on with them? Is this a mating season? I don't know with foxes, but I think every season is the mating season with foxes.
Disgusting.
The noise they make. This says, with the future trade deals that want to be made with USA, with the future trade deals that want to be made with USA, when with USA is in inverted commas, will include ISDS, Interstate Dispute Settlement, chlorinated chicken as an e.g. people won't buy if labelled so. The producer will sue the country for profits lost, and with negative interest rates on the horizon with the push for a cashless society. Does that make sense?
No.
Shall I read it again?
No.
Pete says, all religions are man-made constructs laid down historically and confirmed in tradition. Yeah. Paul says, did that man say that the second version of the commandment said that God's milkshake brings all guys to the yard? I don't know what that means, but I think it sounds borderline obscene. What does that mean? I've got no idea. But it fits right in on this show. I haven't got a clue what's going on. Hounslow, hello, Brian. Let me say it again. Hounslow. Hello, Brian.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You were saying about the this religion thing. Sorry. Well, Moses. He was obviously an old man, wasn't he? And he was leading all these people over to what were known as the Promised Land. And there must have had a lot of squabbling amongst each other, and that. So he had to bring in some sort of order to sort things out. Now we don't want men sleeping with other women, and it probably did happen. We've got enough sort of like bastard children running around as it is, and not knowing who their fathers are. And you don't want to. It's like a form of control he had. But then again, he was an old man as well. So
yeah, how old?
Well, we don't know. That's just it. We'll never know, really.
Well, put a number on it.
Well, let's say 60 plus.
60 plus. Yeah. He made it.
Yeah, and he could have had some early dementia coming in. We'll never know for sure. but you need some sort of organisation. And
well, that's what this show needs more than anything else. We need to be organised. Yeah.
Well,
if we had been, then you would have definitely not got on.
If and then there's this thing about Jesus feeding 5,000. All he had was what's it? 5 loaves of bread and 2 fishes.
Yeah.
So what did he do? He opened up a whole lot of McDonald's for them or something? No, come on.
I'm not sure that was in the Bible. But whatever point it is you're trying to make, Brian, I agree or disagree accordingly. I just can't listen to the end of it. But thanks a lot. I do appreciate the call. 0345 6060 973. So Donald Trump is heading to this country for a visit. The screaming Mimi is on his way.
Oh, no.
And the nation waits with bated breath to see if his second meeting with the Queen is as littered with as many slip-ups as the first. Yesterday, the White House was widely mocked on social media for incorrectly referring to the monarch as Her Royal Majesty, which is apparently incorrect. They put that out in a press office statement confirming that Trump, 72, and his wife, Melania, 48, had accepted the invitation. You'll be on a trip with your beloved Melania. Won't that be nice?
I don't care.
In July last year, while on a working visit to the UK, the screaming Mimi sparked criticism for his disrespect in not following royal protocol when he met the Queen. You're not supposed to goose her or tell her how big your what is it? Your inauguration crowd was. It was totally huge, biggest crowd ever, bigger than this tiny crowd you've got here, your queenness. I'm so loved by my people. You could only dream of being so loved, believe me. You're not supposed to say that. And you're not supposed to put your gargantuan fat bulk in front of her and wander down the line of troops like a total eclipse of the Queen. That was properly funny. She just disappeared from view. That stupidly huge coat he wears to cover up his giant gut. You just couldn't see her anymore. She vanished. You're supposed to offer your weirdly tiny hand for her to shake, Donald Trump. And don't do that yanking the arm thing that you think is manly. It's just desperate and needy, and you might actually pull her arm off. And don't ask her where the porn stars hang out. And you're not supposed to speak to her till she speaks to you, which will be impossible for Donny, because he fills the air with a stream of unconnected thoughts and ramblings, just so that no one else can get a word in. I swear he must breathe through his blowhole, because he never seems to stop exhaling. All that demented verbiage pouring out over everyone in earshot like some garden hose. And you're not supposed to eat before she eats, and you're supposed to stop when she stops. And you can't get your food in a bucket, Donny, so don't ask. And when you make a speech, don't make it just about you. And try not to praise any white supremacists. Totally great people. And don't go on about the wall, or we'll stick you in the Tower of London. See how you like that.
I would build a great wall, and nobody builds walls better than me, believe me.
Believe me, yeah. Believe me. Every time he says "believe me," you know that he's telling telling a lie.
Believe me, believe me, believe me, believe me, believe me, believe me, believe me. Okay.
No. And Speaker John Bercow was accused of disrespecting the Queen after he snubbed her invitation to attend a state banquet with Donald Trump. Snubbed her. What? He wasn't snubbing the Queen or disrespecting her. Buckingham Palace sent out invitations for the usual lavish dinner put on for heads of state when they make an official visit. Oh, I can only dream of having a lavish dinner. But a spokesperson for John Bercow has told the Super Soaraway Stun, Mr. Speaker has been invited to the banquet, but he will not be attending. And this highly controversial snub sparked outrage last night. Critics said, like Tory MP James Duddridge. He said Donald Trump is the President of the United States of America. He was democratically elected by the people of the United States and should be treated with respect. He's trying to take over the House of Commons, is John Bercow. And with similar effect, he's now having a go at Buckingham Palace. It's an outrage to Her Majesty. Which makes you wonder afresh at the quality of person that we're sending to Parliament. James Duddridge, MP for Rochford and Southend East, has apparently been so effective a politician for the good people of that manor, he can take time out of his day to fume about this nonsense. Really, have all the problems that beset the people of Rochford and Southend been solved?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's all right then. He's an ex-banker, by the way. No! And in bad news for our patriotic parliamentarian, Prince Charles and Prince William reportedly snubbed the US president during his last visit to Britain. Huh. And that must cause some dissonant noise in the brain of someone who's trying to score patriotic points. What do you say to that, James Duddridge MP? Are their Majesties Prince Charles and Prince William also an outrage to Her Majesty? Apparently they left the Queen to meet Donald Trump alone in Windsor Castle. Don't leave her alone with Mr. Grabby Hands. The Speaker, John Bercow, is also expected to bar Trump from formally addressing Parliament during his June visit, an event usually accorded to visiting heads of state. 2 years ago, Bercow insisted that it's not an automatic right for a visiting leader to address Parliament, saying it had to be an earned honour. I have totally earned that honour. No one has earned that honour more than me. Everyone says so, believe me. And people were freaking out then. I got that story from that time. Hang on. So this was a couple of weeks ago. Commons Speaker John Bercow has been told that Donald Trump must be allowed to address Parliament this summer or risk damaging the special relationship. What special relationship? Is that the same Donald Trump that's just threatened to slap taxes on our Stilton and cheddar and smoked salmon just because he's trying to get a cheer from the drooling yeehaws at his Make America White Again rallies? It's about EU subsidies to Airbus, apparently, which he says totally unfair, which rather ignores the billions in American government subsidies to the American aircraft manufacturers. But you can't tell him because he thinks he's the greatest deal maker in history. Nobody knows more than deals, more about deals than me. So we're preparing for this state visit in June to coincide with the 75th anniversary of D-Day. Donald Trump heard it was about the war and bravely asked his doctor to write him a note about his sore heel to excuse him from coming. But Bercow's continuing to refuse to extend the traditional courtesy of asking the President to address both Houses of Parliament. Good. That screaming Mimi shouldn't be allowed anywhere near the place. He'll bring disrepute on the house. And that's really saying something. God, he's not a fit and proper person to be addressing the House.
Everything that I've done is 100% proper. That's what I do, is I do things proper.
He lied. And Burkow's decision has angered US officials and become an embarrassment to the government. You'd think, but everything that's been happening over the last 3 years or so, that we'd be beyond being embarrassed now. Apparently not. You know what is embarrassing is for us to crawl across the carpet and beg this tangerine scream for a trade deal after Brexit, because that's what this is all about. All those Brexiteers that harp on about taking back control. Oh, we'll be taking back control and then gifting it to the world's least reliable man, which he'll just see as weakness. And, I mean, he can't even be relied on to be presidential. And he's the president. Tobias Ellwood, the Defence Minister, said the UK should leverage Mr Trump's state visit and give him the chance to formally address the Parliament. Well, what's he going to say? You know, tell us about democracy? You'd have to check with Vladimir Putin first. Tell us about honesty and integrity in office. He could tell us about how smart he is. This has been going on for a while now. A couple of years ago, Burkow said that he was strongly opposed to a presidential address, citing opposition to racism and sexism. He described it as an earned honour, not a right. Obama, of course, addressed Parliament, but then that was a different era. That was when the world seemed to make sense. Ronald Reagan addressed Parliament. Angela Merkel addressed Parliament. And the difference between all those people and the orange ape in the White House is that they deserve to be behind the walls of the Palace of Westminster, and Donald Trump deserves to be behind walls.
I would build a great wall, and nobody builds walls better than me, believe me.
Yeah, and walls work.
If there's a concrete wall in front of you, go through it, go over it, go around it, but get to the other side of that wall.
Everything is going extremely well.
You bet your life it is. Mark says humans are the worst and nastiest species on planet Earth. We ruin everything. Yeah, I suppose that's right. We're the only species that actually ruins its own environment. Other species are smarter than that. I mean, even plants don't ruin their own environment. Even plants have got more brains than we do. Yeah, I think that's probably right. We're living a life out of balance. Koyaanisqatsi. Bill says, right on, Nick, the hypocrisy is thick in the USA. Democrats and Republicans are both just bought. For example, Obama set records for deporting and bombing, and Trump's just a nincompoop. Well, yeah, I suppose you've got a good point. And Obama did set records for deporting illegal immigrants. He actually did. And, of course, when Obama did it, it was wrong as far as the Republicans are concerned. But if a Republican does the exact same thing, then it is only just and right. And it's what Jesus wants. It's so hypocritical over there, it's staggering. I mean, thank goodness for America, because otherwise this country would be the laughing stock of the world. And it's not just John Bercow, by the way, who is snubbing the Queen and causing right-wingers to go... Because Sir Vince isn't going either to the big sit-down dinner. Lib Dem boss Sir Vince Cable has also turned down the Queen's invitation to attend the state banquet because he doesn't want to be hobnobbing with a man who's on record as a misogynist and a racist. Hobnobbing. Well, that sounds awful.
Disgusting.
Yes. I wouldn't want to hob or knob with him. Misogynist? I don't think so.
I cherish women.
See? And, of course, Uncle Jezza, he won't go either. Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn has declined to attend a state dinner at Buckingham Palace in honour of Donald Trump. He said he was opposed to the president receiving the red carpet treatment and would not be attending the dinner. Actually, if Donald Trump stood on the red carpet, he'd probably disappear. And you know what? If Jezza's seat is empty, I'll go. I'd go just to see the sparks of love flying between Donny and Melania. I bet they can't take their eyes off each other. Maybe she won't go and Donny will take a date. Maybe Debbie from Debbie Does Dallas will be available. I bet Boris Johnson doesn't turn down an invitation, though. So it's a good job he never said anything that would make the president upset, because that would be bad.
I think Donald Trump is clearly out of his mind.
If Boris Johnson was on tape saying something that the President of the United States of America, as notoriously thin-skinned as he is, that giant orange galumph, then I think that we would really be in trouble.
I think Donald Trump is clearly out of his mind.
And if anybody did have a tape of Boris Johnson saying something that would upset Donald Trump, for goodness sakes, don't play it on the radio.
I think Donald Trump is clearly out of his mind.
And in other news, the Queen says there's no room at the inn. Which is just properly comical. Donald Trump and Melania will not stay at Buckingham Palace during their state visit this summer because the Queen's got the builders in. Oh, God, the lights have just gone out. I'm going to wave my arms in the air. Waving and waving, waving and waving. They're normally on by this time. There it is. That's us trying to save the environment. Royal sources repeatedly said that the Queen can't let the US President stop over and stay in the East Wing as it will be closed during a renovation programme. She's got 700 bedrooms and none of them will be ready. What do you think about that, Donny?
I'll bring us into war.
Yeah. You know, the Queen meets some of the worst people in the world as a day job, and she couldn't bear to spend one night under the same roof as the Orange Apocalypse. I mean, they could decamp to Windsor, of course. I mean, that's the biggest inhabited castle in the world, and she could have put him up there. But no, there's a Ramada Inn round the corner. If you call up now, Donny, you might get a good rate. And he won't get to address the Parliament either. Awful.
And it's a disgrace. It's frankly a real disgrace. It's a disgrace.
And nor should he, by the way. I mean, the various royal members of the gang that runs Saudi Arabia have never addressed Parliament. Have they? Why should he, a racist, misogynist, rabble-rousing, uncontrollable liar and fantasist, address Parliament? Oh, I suppose he would fit right in, yeah. And, as usual, when he is denied something, he says he didn't want it anyway. They've actually released a statement saying that, pretty much. Oh, I didn't want to address Parliament. Comical. It's like a child. You can't have it. Oh, I didn't want it anyway. His people put it out that he didn't want to speak to Parliament, and he prefers to address the 5,000 airmen stationed at RAF Lakenheath. You know, unless he gets a sore heel and a doctor's note that says he can't go. Or if it rains, like it did in France, that stopped him going to pay his pretend respects to the dead at the American cemetery there. You know, in case he got his hair wet. I mean, can you imagine what that looks like wet? That candy floss creation. I mean, when it catches the wind, it's bad enough.
I know a lot about wind. Anyway,
Donny, we're looking forward to it, and the American people are looking forward to it too. You'll be out of their country for a while. They might build a wall around their country while you're gone, just to keep the undesirables out.
I'm building a wall, okay? I'm building a wall, okay? I'm building a wall.
Mark says, oh no, I read that. Humans are the worst and nastiest species on Earth. Maybe I should read that, every 10 minutes, just to remind us. Critic Chris says, why has the media been taken over by left-wing liberal lunatics? Who are these liberal left-wing lunatics? I want the names of the people. He says, why is it okay for the liberal left to be mocking Trump for his skin colour? Because it's not a colour that humans ordinarily come in. I mean, who's orange, for crying out loud? Where did that colour come from? I mean, it's obviously either painted on or dusted on, or I've got no idea how a person gets to be that colour. Nobody in the history of the human race has ever been orange. I think you're implying that it's racist to talk about his skin colour. And you can tell that it may be a sunbed, or I don't know, there's some weird thing going on, because he's got those panda eyes. So his makeup artist, the team of people that create that look on a daily basis, are just missing his eyes, maybe because he's told them that he doesn't like the orange near his eyeballs. You know best, Donny. You look great. Paul says, what if Donald Trump is the Antichrist and the Queen really is a lizard? Get David Icke on the phone. Cancel that request. This says, can you pick Daniel up at 8:30 tomorrow for football? Yes, I can. Yeah, I'll make a note of that. Do you want me to pick up some milk while I'm at it?
No.
Paul in London says, wouldn't it be funny if the Queen gave a week's notice before Trump came? One's off to work in Burger King. What does that mean? One's off to work in Burger King. I don't know what that means. This show is confusing even to me. Lawrence says, do the lights in the studio actually go out? Why? Why? That's an excellent question. This is the only studio I've ever sat in where the lights actually are on a movement sensor. It's because I'm in the cupboard. I'm not allowed in the big boys studio. All of the other, in fact, every single. No, Steve Allen occupies the suite that I'm in through the glass. See, I'm in the area with all the controls because I run this show myself. Ordinarily, somebody runs the program. Every presenter on the air doesn't run their own desk. They don't fire in the ads and, do all the controls, except me. I'm the only one that does that. I'm like the Swiss Army knife of radio persons. I do everything, me. I present, I produce, I write, I'm the technical operator. The only thing I don't do is answer the phones, because it's not physically possible. But if it were, I would. But the lights go out because this is the production side of the studio, and there's normally like 6 people in here, all of whom are moving about frantically. So there's a motion sensor in the end of the room, at the far end of this narrow corridor of a room, too far away to notice me in here. And so every 30 minutes, I think it's on a timer, it'll probably go out around about now, the lights disappear and I'm plunged into gloom because it doesn't think there's anybody in here. We're just trying to save the planet, that's all.
Groovy.
So every half an hour during the news, really, I have to remember to get up and walk around and wave my arms around and do the disco dancing. Not that it's embarrassing or anything, but it's a good job there's no video cameras in here. So that's why you can't see me on the internet, because this is the production side and there's no video cameras pointing at production people ordinarily, because who wants to see them? I mean, the presenters are ugly enough. No offence, but there's an excellent reason why we're in radio. 0345 6060 973. You can text 84850, email nick@lbc.co.uk, and if you're on Twitter, it's at LBC. Friday and Saturday night at 10 on LBC. I'm Nick Abbott. It's just past 12:30. The news headlines with Andy Ivey.
This is LBC with Nick Abbot. Call 0345 6060 973. Tweet at LBC. Text 84850.
Just one moment, please.
No, I haven't got the time. 0345 6060 973. Lawrence in Barnet wonders if he could hear from Jacob Rees-Mogg. He says you haven't impersonated him in a while. No, I tried. I tried a Welsh man, that Welsh actor, earlier on in the programme, and it ruined me. My throat was getting better after inhaling a faceful of builder's dust about a month or so ago. And God knows what it was. I've absolutely no idea what it was, but it was filthy poison, and I'm just barely recovering. But I attempted a Welsh accent earlier on in the programme, and it ruined me. Set me back a couple of weeks. So no, because impersonating people means you use your throat in a way that's unusual to your normal speaking voice. And Jacob Rees-Mogg is all about. It's all about being clenched. He's 100% clenched from the top of his head to his tippy toes, like that. I can't do it. Carl in Dudley says, I heard Donald Trump is a bit like Prince Charles, but posher. Pretend posher, really. I mean, where the hell did he get that accent from? Seriously, nobody speaks like that. Carl in Dudley says, I heard Donald Trump knows quite a bit of... Now you're just dancing me around like a marionette. I'm supposed to perform for you. I'm supposed to amuse you. I amuse you. I make you laugh. Like a clown. Carl in Dudley says, I heard Donald Trump knows a bit about wind. Is that true? No, it's not true.
I know a lot about wind.
Jimmy says, if you drink too much carrot juice, you will go orange. Maybe Donnie loves a pint or two of carrot juice. You're kidding. He's never eaten a vegetable in his life. I mean, how do you think he maintains that svelte physique? Vegetables? I don't think so. And Daz says, Zippy from Rainbow is orange, as is Animal from the Muppets. Donnie's a bit of both of them, personality-wise, too. Yeah, the animal from the Muppets is orange, yeah. And I think he was based on Keith Moon, wasn't he? Keith Moon was not orange. Keith Moon was very, very white. Best drummer ever. Not necessarily the most skillful, but just as far as being in a rock band and being a drummer is concerned, nobody did it better than Keith Moon. And that is a fact. It's the only fact that I've had on this show so far, so I want you to write that down. But if we really think that Donald Trump is somebody that we should be ingratiating ourselves with, then we have to remember everything he's ever done. And the most recent thing is the potential of slapping tariffs on some of the things that we make and are most dear to our hearts, like cheddar cheese, for instance. Cheddar cheese. Ain't nothing more British than that. Or Stilton. Right, I found one. Stilton is more British than cheddar cheese. And smoked salmon. Why did he pick on them if it's such a special relationship in this another one of his stupid trade wars, which are good and easy to win, according to the great deal maker Donald Trump? He's actually an abysmal businessman, and what's comical is that is how he has sold himself as a great businessman. He's a terrible businessman. The great businessman tag comes from that stupid You're Fired show on television. He was the American version of that before it started in this country with Alan Sugar. That's the nature of his reputation for being a great businessman, pretending to be one on a TV game show. It's staggering, really. And if you just look into his business is, then you'll see the truth of it. He is an abysmal businessman. He's just shockingly bad as a deal maker. He just can't do it. But he can pretend to be one on TV, which is what he's doing at the moment. He's pretending to be the President of the United States of America on television. and he's really bad at it.
You are going to love President Trump.
He's planning to slap extra levies on £8.4 billion worth of exports from the European Union. And he's picked on us, specifically. You know, that's the nature of our special relationship. And this is a row over subsidies to the aircraft maker Airbus. He thinks it's totally unfair that the European Union is subsidising Airbus. And for those that think that the screaming Mimi in the White House is our friend, just think who produces cheddar and Stilton and smoked salmon in the EU. That's us, that is.
Oh, fabulous.
He announced these tariffs on Twitter. Of course. It's the most presidential way to announce policy. And this is following a dispute that's been going on for a dog's age between the US and the EU over state support for aerospace companies. But all governments subsidise their own defence contractors. In fact, the entire world seems to be a socialist construct to funnel money from the people to those that make weapons. Trump said the WTO finds that the European Union subsidies to Airbus has adversely impacted the United States, which is, to an extent, true. It's about the only thing he's ever said that is actually true. He says the EU has taken advantage of the US on trade for many years. It will soon stop. That was his tweet. And as well as food, including 40 types of cheese, oddly. There's also non-military aircraft and ceramics and clothes and things like that will face tariffs. Non-military aircraft. Military aircraft get a pass, of course, because Trump doesn't want to stop the flow of money to the weapons manufacturers. I mean, the entire American economy seems to be one giant socialist construct to take money from the people and give it to the defence industry. I mean, he's going to need all that firepower just to keep him out of jail. And the EU is expected to fight back with its own tariffs. It's already taken aim at Harley-Davidson and Levi's. Harley-Davidson. There should be some penalty to ride a bike that makes that kind of noise. It's an engine that's smaller than are in most cars, which will go by in virtual complete silence. But if you attach one to 2 wheels instead of 4, suddenly it makes a noise like the earth being ripped apart. Why do you have to make so much noise when you're just going down the shops, you Harley-Davidson people? I think that if a motorbike makes more noise than the associated engine in a car, then the bike should be crushed with the rider sitting on it. Hands up, who's with me? I'm staggered that the people on those things can live with themselves making that much noise. But they actually love it. They sit at red lights just thrumming their engine. Vroom, vroom. There's an episode of South Park that dealt with this very issue. You riders of Harley-Davidsons, you're in for a big surprise. Go and watch that episode of South Park, I double dare you. And then let's see how much noise you make. There's a trading firm called Markets. Neil Wilson of that firm said there's a real risk of tit-for-tat trade battle between the EU and the US, which is it's what Donald Trump loves the most. He'll be able to strut around and tell his drooling yeehaw base and the Make America White Again hats how tough and strong he's being. And because they know nothing, they'll whoop and cheer. They whooped and cheered when he told them he loved the poorly educated.
I love the poorly educated.
Yeah, and they went, woo! Just pause and think about that for a minute. He said to a crowd of poorly educated people, I love the poorly educated. And they whooped and cheered, like he'd just given them a prize. So the stuff that's going on is amazing. I've said this before. He's one of those con men who will tell you to your face that he is picking your pocket, and you think, oh, that's part of his act, right? But no, he is actually picking your pocket. But, Donald Trump's an expert in everything. He says that trade wars are good and you don't have to fake a heel injury to get out of fighting them. But the thing is, the whole problem with state subsidies, his whole problem with the EU subsidising Airbus is comical. The US gives many American corporations huge subsidies. I mean, I looked this up. I actually did homework. Can you believe that?
No.
In 2014, which was the last year I could find details for, the US government gave subsidies of $13 billion to Boeing. And he's complaining about the EU giving subsidies to Airbus. $13 billion to Boeing they gave. They gave $3.4 billion to General Motors, $2 billion to Shell, $1.4 billion to Dow Chemicals, $661 million to Goldman Sachs, of all people. No! And $632 million to Google, $381 million to Walt Disney, $149 million to Walmart, whose owners are... they may have been overtaken by Jeff Bezos, but they used to be the richest people in the world. All of the owners of these corporations are the richest people in the world. He gave $23 million to Abercrombie and Fitch. I think that buys a pair of distressed jeans and a polo shirt. And he gave $10 million to Bed Bath & Beyond. And when I say he, not he, of course, it's the American government. And that doesn't even scratch the surface of what the weapons manufacturers get. It's staggering how much money goes from the people to some of the richest in the world and the wealthiest corporations. But he's moaning about Airbus because it gives him an excuse to pick a fight, which is really it's like the meat and potatoes to his, what they call his base. They just love it. The yeehaws will be shooting their guns in the air. Bullets will be flying. That's how they express pleasure. I mean, they were gifted that money in tax breaks and mega deals and training reimbursements and subsidies from the states that they're located in. And Bernie Sanders has been banging on about this, quite right too. The number of huge, profitable companies, like the oil company Chevron or Netflix, that are paying nothing in federal income taxes under Donald Trump has doubled. You know, all that draining the swamp stuff and looking out for the little people. You can't possibly still believe that after all of the evidence that comes your way. The number of vastly profitable companies that pay nothing in federal income tax has doubled under Donald Trump. That's because of his tax giveaways to the rich and the large corporations. They pay nothing in federal taxes. Zero. I think that is a disgrace. It's a total disgrace.
And it's a disgrace. It's frankly a real disgrace. It's a disgrace.
Total disgrace. 0345 6060 973. You can text 84850. Email nick@lbc.co.uk. And if you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. Let me remind you about my Super Soaraway podcast, which this latest episode has the bizarre connection between swingers and Nigel Farage. I'll let you find out on the podcast exactly what that was, but I came across the connection completely by accident. It's called the Nick Abbot Habit. If you download from the App Store Global Player, then I think you'll find it is a delight in every way, shape and form. And one of the things that's on there are podcasts. Just go down to the Global Podcast and then scroll along until you find mine. If you listen to it on the computer, then ask for it by name. Do a Google search. Other search engines are available, but nobody uses them. Ask for it by name. It's called the Nick Abbot Habit.
Nick Abbot on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
And I like him. He's a good man. He is not a racist. I can tell you that. He's a good person.
He likes me even though I'm not a racist. Thanks, Tony. You're the best. Lester. Hello, Kane.
Hello, nice to speak to you.
Kane.
Yes?
Yes, Kane.
Yeah, well, it is. I think, truthfully, Nick, from some of your shows, it seems you're being a little bit unfair to him.
To who?
To Donald Trump.
I'm being unfair to Donald Trump?
Yeah, because it just seems you're always lacking him. And, you know, but not whatever he does is never good enough.
Never good enough.
And Jeremy Corbyn not doing the national anthem is ridiculous.
Not doing the national anthem?
Yes, at this new state dinner that, you know, where they do national anthems and all that at the state banquets.
Jeremy Corbyn isn't doing the national anthem?
Well, he never has so far, so why break the bank to do something it doesn't normally like doing?
What do you mean, do the national anthem?
I think it shows, even if it shows great national disrespect to the Queen to not go, in my opinion.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Jeremy Corbyn's not doing the national anthem? What do you mean by that?
Well, he won't be going to the place at all. To the I'm not sure where it's held, these feasts. But he obviously won't be going to that. It's already announced.
But what's that got to do with the national anthem?
Well, that's where. Not famous. Remember the famous what's his name, Barack Obama situation years ago, where they stood up to make the speeches that the anthem started playing too soon, and everyone was getting scorned for him. So, no, you don't.
Well, I think he said the magic phrase, which means that the band strikes up. I think when you say Majesty the Queen or something like that, I've got no idea. But he just said the wrong thing, which was the cue to the band, and then they launched into it.
No, I was just saying about how, you know, that can happen, but even any president can get sort of, you know, and this time wasn't it meant to be back-footing the Queen or something and letting her walk different steps. So, but all that being said, no one says it's perfect, and his Twitter can obviously be horrendous sometimes.
Yeah.
It just seems that...
He's an awful person from the top of his candy floss hairdo down to his weirdly tiny shoes. But, you know, apart from that, we should give him a pass.
No, I agree with some of this stuff. I don't know about his personal stuff, I'm not into that. But what I do think is unfair is just the fact that whatever he does is always wrong.
Yeah, it is. That is unfair to the human race. Is that what you mean?
No, I mean it's unfair to, like, the things he does... No, let's say the things he does get right as well.
Oh, well, name one. Name one thing he's got right.
Well, I'm not really that into American politics, but I think some of the stuff... Well, the economy is supposed to be going very well at the moment.
Well, it depends who you are. If you're a millionaire, then it's going fantastically well. If you're one of the poor saps that pay taxes, not so much.
But you've seen all those a few years ago. Last year, was it? They were all coming out saying they're all getting £1,000 on top of their bonuses because of all these tax cuts.
What happened was he gave $1 trillion away to corporations and the super rich, and a tiny amount trickled down onto the upturned expectant faces of the poor working saps. Almost 80% of the $1 trillion that he gave away went to the top 1%, which means that the bottom 99% are now saddled with an extra $1 trillion in debt that they have to pay off.
But isn't the force of that all this new work that will come in there because they've, you know, come down to a normal level? Well, they were a bit high before, I believe, wasn't they? So surely they're thinking that all this extra revenue will drip down to anybody, including maybe people like on benefits who are not getting that much over there. I don't know.
Kane, there's no such thing as trickle-down economics. It does not exist. There's only such a thing as trickle-up economics.
What about when Reagan done it?
When who done it?
Ronald Reagan.
When Ronald Reagan done it?
Yes, I thought he left office in a absolute,
mess.
Brilliant economics.
Ronald Reagan. Well, the guy who used to take his foreign policy from his wife's astrologer. That guy.
I didn't know that.
The guy who had dementia while he was in office. That guy.
Yeah, but to be fair to that one, though, you don't always know. My grandmother had it for 5 years, and she didn't always know she had it, even though people around her maybe blame more them.
Yeah, but was your granny the President of the United States of America?
No, I'm saying that in regards to the disease, like, they don't always know they've got it for quite a while sometimes.
Yeah.
So maybe the people around them should have took it.
Well, yeah, you would think so, yeah.
You probably weren't aware of, you know, didn't want to. Probably, I can't imagine he knew about it and still, carried on. He was probably unaware of it.
Well, yeah, okay, but I fail to understand what point we're making here, Kane. You just want me to stop being nasty to the world's most unpleasant person?
Oh, it's not the worst. What about that one in the Philippines?
Oh, yeah, I suppose
I'll let you go down to the second best.
Duterte, yeah. Well, but isn't it curious that Donald Trump is one of his biggest fans?
Oh, is he?
Anybody that's a right-wing demagogue, Donald Trump loves. Have you noticed? It's Kim Jong-un, Vladimir Putin, Duterte, all of these people. He just falls over himself with love for those people because Donald Trump wants to be one of those people. He wants to be a dictator. Everything about him says that he wants to be a dictator. Just the way he addresses the microphone, he looks like Mussolini. Bring up some old videos of Mussolini and you'll see that they are exactly alike. The jutting out of the chin, the nodding, the talking constantly about himself and how tremendous he is, and only talking to his fans as well. Every time he gets a bad story about him on the mainstream media, he has one of his baby fits. And then his aides have to organise one of those safe space rallies with all the drooling yeehaws wearing the Make America White Again hats. And then he just goes through his pantomime routine. Lock her up, build the wall, make America great again. And it's like call and response. It is like a pantomime. But it makes him feel better. Anyway, Kane, leave it with me, and I'll try to correct myself in future. All right?
I'm sorry, so I've said something wrong.
No, I think you're quite right to rush to the defence of the world's most powerful man. Robin Surrey says, "Why don't you get a tennis ball to throw against the wall, thus activating the sensor?" I think it would need to be bigger than a tennis ball. Somebody had a good idea that I should have like a large balloon on the end of a stick, and I could just wave it about. Or I could just get off my bottom and walk up and down a bit. If there's a problem...
Get off your ass and change it.
Thanks. Bill says the Queen's doctor might advise that she rest over May. Sadiq Khan would be a good substitute. Patrick in Guildford says... Jake Moggy's 19th century dinosauric accent is the reason American tourists over here think we Brits still go about doffing our bowler hats, patting ourselves on the back for winning the last World War, and tuning into LBC on a Roberts Bakelite valve radio set. Paul in Sheffield says, who could be more insulting, Donald Trump or the Duke of Edinburgh? What a candlelit supper that would be. I'd actually pay to see that. My money would be on the Chuki Edinburgh. I mean, Donald Trump is, his command of the English language not that great. I think the Duke of Edinburgh would run rings around him. He would be insulting him, and Donald Trump would have no idea that he was being insulted. Your husband would be being insulted, Melania.
I don't care.
And this says, Trump hates the First Amendment, loves the Second Amendment, and has no idea what the Third Amendment is. But then in his defence, neither does anybody else. Okay, that's it. We'll reconvene tonight at 10 o'clock. And between now and then, what might happen just fairly blows my mind. It's the mystery, but all will be revealed between now and then. If you download Global Player, then you can listen back to this show and any of the other shows, What We Do. You can also listen to the podcast. My podcast is available right now. It's called The Nick Abbott Habit. Ask for it by name. If you stick around, Steve Allen will set you straight at 4. But right now, here's Darren Adam.
Excuse me?